cyclic acid pathway. But before starting the cyclic acid pathway, in previous class we studied about the introductions of the primary and secondary metabolites. In that class we learned about the definitions of metabolites, differences between the primary and secondary metabolites. Then we studied about the photosynthesis process, in which we said that because of the photosynthesis there is the formation of glucose or fructose 6 phosphate. Then this fructose 6 phosphate can convert into the glucose 6 phosphate, and this glucose 6 phosphate undergoes the process of glycolysis, due to which it forms the pyruvic acid and acetyl coenzymes. This acetyl coenzymes is the major precursor for the biosynthesis of the various secondary metabolites. So it can go under the process of acetate mevalonate pathway. As I already told you that acetate mevalonate pathway useful for the biogenesis of terpenoids and steroids. Okay, like we can say that if volatile oils, isoprenoid compound, terpenoids compound, uh, asking about the biosynthesis of these compounds, so we have to write the acetate mevalonate pathway. Whereas if anybody asks about the biogenesis of the fixed oil or lipids, we have to go for the acetate malonate pathway. In that class I given an assignment and I also asked this question: for the biogenesis of volatile oil, which pathway will be used? But most of the students given incorrect answer. So please be focused that acetate mevalonate pathway is useful for the biogenesis of volatile oils, or we can say isoprenoid compounds or terpenoids compound, as well as for the biogenesis of the steroidal compound, for example cholesterol. And acetate malonate pathway is useful for the biogenesis of the lipids and fatty acids. Okay, then we also said that this glucose also formed some amino acid, and from these amino acid we can obtain some alkaloids, and directly from glucose we can also obtain some cyanogenetic glycoside, isothiocyanates, and some cardiac glycosides. So this was all about the interpretations between the primary and secondary metabolite. Then we studied about the process of the photosynthesis, in which we said that green plants, because of the chlorophyll, they absorb the light energy from the sun, and this energy is stored in the form of ATP and NADPH. So these reactions occur as a light reaction. There are two types of reactions in the process of photosynthesis. First one is the light reaction and second one is the dark reaction. In light reaction, these energy is stored in the form of ATP and NADPH, whereas in dark reaction this energy used to convert carbon dioxide into the fructose 6 phosphate in the Calvin cycle and malic acid in the Hatch and Slack pathway. Okay, there in dark reaction there are two types of pathway. First one is the Calvin cycle, which is also known as the pentose phosphate pathway, and second one is the Hatch and Slack pathway. The end product of Hatch and Slack pathway is the malic acid, whereas the end product of the Calvin cycle is the fructose 6 phosphate. And I also told about that in one Calvin cycle one carbon dioxide reduced to form the formed for the formations of the fructose 6 phosphate. So to for the formations of complete one molecules of fructose 6 phosphate, there will be 6 cycles of the Calvin cycle, and total number of ATP molecules will be consumed number 18 molecules, and NADPH will be consumed 12 molecules of NADPH. Okay, so it was all about the primary secondary metabolite and photosynthesis and interpretations between the primary and secondary metabolite. Today class we will study about the cyclic acid pathway. So after this class you will be able to describe the cyclic acid's occurrence and its nature, and about the descriptions detail of cyclic acid pathway, and you will be able to describe the role of this pathway in the biogenesis of various secondary metabolites. So now, what is cyclic acid? So cyclic acid is commonly known as the cyclimate. It is chemically cyclohexane. Now what is cyclohexane? Cyclohexanes are acyclic hydrocarbons which contain a 6-membered ring, and number of carbon atom is there 6. It consists of 6-membered ring in which number of carbon atom will be 6. Okay, cyclohexane. So it is a cyclohexane, a cyclitol, and a cyclohexane carboxylic acid. So here is the meaning. Cyclitol means it consists the hydroxyl group. So if you see the structure of this cyclic acid, you will see 3 number of hydroxyl groups are there at the position 3, 4 and 5. If we start from here, 1 2 3 4 5, so 3 4 5, at 3 4 5 position 3 hydroxyl groups are present. That's why if you see the IUPAC name of this cyclic acid, 3,4,5 trihydroxy, 1 cyclohexane, 1 carboxylic acid. So in first position there is 1 carboxylic groups also present. That's why its chemical name is 3,4,5 trihydroxy, 1 cyclohexane, 1 carboxylic acids. Now the name of cyclic acids arises from the Japanese flower which is known as the Sikimi. And botanical name of this flower is Illicium anisetum, which belongs to family Illiciaceae, and it was isolated in 1885 by Johann Friedrich Ekman. Okay, in 1885 it was isolated by the Johann Friedrich Ekman. So it is all about the chemistry of cyclic acids. So chemical name 3,4,5 trihydroxy, 1 cyclohexane, 1 carboxylic acids, and the name of cyclic acids arises from the Japanese flower. Botanical name of that Japanese flower is Illicium anisetum, and it is belongs to family Illiciaceae, and commonly it is known as the Sikimi. Now next point is that it is an important biochemical metabolite in plants and microorganisms, but not in animals. So we can say that this cyclic acid pathway commonly occurs in the microorganism and in plants, but not occurs in the animals. And this cyclic acid is the intermediate metabolite of particular metabolism. Whatever the pathway is going there, it is the intermediate products of metabolic pathway in the plants and microorganisms, but it is absent in the animals. And it is also act as the glycosidic parts in some of the hydrolyzable tannins. Now cyclic acid pathway used by the bacteria, fungi, algae, parasites and plants for the biosynthesis of aromatic amino acid. As I already told that it's occur in the plants and microorganisms. So this pathway is commonly used for the biosynthesis of some aromatic amino acids. Now what are the various aromatic amino acids? These are the phenylalanine, tyrosine and tryptophan. These are the major product. These three are the major product of cyclic acid pathway. That is phenylalanine, tyrosine and tryptophan, and they act as the precursor for the biosynthesis of various secondary metabolites. Now this pathway is not found in animals, therefore phenylalanine and tryptophan represent essential amino acids. Okay, phenylalanine and tryptophan are known as the essential amino acid that must be obtained from the animal's diets. Animals can synthesize tyrosine from phenylalanine. Okay, so in our body, tyrosine can be tyrosine can be synthesized from the phenylalanine. That's why it is not essential amino acid except for individuals unable to hydroxylate phenylalanine to tyrosine. Now this is the cyclic acid pathway. So it starts from the phosphoenol pyruvic acids and erythroge 4-phosphate. Okay, phosphoenol pyruvic acids and erythroge 4-phosphate. There is the aldol condensations of these two compounds in presence of DAHP synthase. Okay, now question is that this from where this phosphoenol pyruvic acid is coming. So I already told that in the process of glycolysis, when glucose undergoes the process of glycolysis, there before acetyl coenzymes there will be formations of the pyruvic acid. So from this pyruvic acid, this phosphoenol pyruvic acids will be formed, and this erythroge 4-phosphates formed during the process during the pathway Calvin cycle pathway. Okay, it is coming from the Calvin cycle and it is coming from the you can say from the glycolysis. So these two compounds will undergoes the process of the aldol condensations in presence of the DAHP synthase enzymes to form the 2-keto-3-deoxy-7-phospho-D-glucoheptanic acids. Now this 2-keto-3-deoxy-7-phospho-D-glucoheptanic acids will undergoes the process of the cyclizations in presence of the NAD and cobalt. NAD means nicotinamide adenine dinucleotides and CO is the cobalt in presence of DHQ synthase enzymes. So it will convert into 3-dehydrocunic acid. Now this 3-dehydrocunic acid will undergoes the process of the dehydrogenation. Dehydrogenation means removal of the water in presence of 3-dehydrocunate dehydrogenase. So it will form 3-dehydrocyclic acids. Now this 3-dehydrocyclic acids undergoes the process of the reduction, and it will consume NADPS, that is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide pyrophosphate in presence of cyclimate dehydrogenase. So it will form the cyclic acid. Now you can see the structure of cyclic acid, that it consists the 1 carboxylic groups and 3 hydroxyl groups. So it is the cyclohexane. Now this cyclic acid goes for the phosphorylations, and for the phosphorylations it will consume the ATP molecules in presence of the cyclimate kinase enzymes to form the cyclic acid 3-phosphate. Now this cyclic acid 3-phosphate will again combine with one molecule of phosphoenol pyruvic acid. So it will form the enol pyruvyl cyclimate 3-phosphate. It will give 5-enoyl pyruvyl cyclimate 3-phosphate at the presence of 5-enoyl pyruvyl cyclimate 3-phosphatase synthase enzyme. So it will form, you can see here 2 arrows are there. So this EPSP will be formed here. Okay, then this enoyl pyruvyl cyclimate 3-phosphate transformed into the chorismate by the enzyme chorismate synthase. Okay, it will convert into the chorismic acid due to presence of the chorismate synthase. Now this is the chorismic acid is major intermediates which forms different type of metabolite, secondary metabolite, that if you see this chromic acids in presence of anthranilate synthase, it will form the anthranilic acid. Now this anthranilic acids in presence of phosphoribosyl pyrophosphates, okay, will give some intermediate product, and then this intermediate products will react with the serine. Serine is the amino acid to form the tryptophan, and from this tryptophan we can obtain the various secondary metabolites. Similarly, if we see here this chorismic acids, if undergoes the Clemson rearrangement, so it is Clemson rearrangement, so in presence of the chorismate mutase enzyme, so it will form the prephenic acid. Now this prephenic acid will undergoes the process of the decarboxylation to form the phenyl pyruvic acid and para-hydroxyphenyl pyruvic acid. During the process of para-hydroxyphenyl pyruvic acid, prephenate dehydrogenase are commonly used as enzymes, and if you see the structure, only the position of hydroxyl group in phenyl pyruvic acid, hydroxyl groups are absent, whereas in para-hydroxyphenyl pyruvic acid hydroxyl group is present. And this phenyl pyruvic acid and para-hydroxyphenyl pyruvic acid both undergoes under the process of reductive aminations, so form the phenylalanine and tyrosine. And from where this it means we can say it is going for the aminations, and from where this nitrogen is coming, it is coming from the glutamate, so it will form the phenylalanine and tyrosine. So okay, this is all about the cyclic acid pathway. इट विल स्टार्ट, ये आपका फास्फोइनॉल पायरुविक एसिड और एरिथ्रोज 4 फॉस्फेट के कंडेंसेशन से शुरू होता है DAHP सिंथेज एंजाइम्स में 2 कीटो 3 डीऑक्सी 7 फॉस्फो डी ग्लूको हेप्टोनिक एसिड्स का ये फॉर्मेशन करेगा। तब ये जो 2 कीटो 3 डीऑक्सी 7 फॉस्फो डी ग्लूको हेप्टोनिक एसिड्स है, ये आपका साइक्लाइजेशन प्रोसेस के लिए जाएगा इन प्रेजेंस ऑफ DHQ सिंथेज एंजाइम्स। सो एंड nicotinamide, adenine dinucleotide and cobalt, it formed 3-dehydrocunic acid. Then 3-dehydrocunic acid undergoes the process of the dehydrogenation. In process of 3-dehydrocunate dehydratase to form the 3-dehydrocyclic acid. अब इस 3-dehydrocyclic एसिड का रिडक्शंस होता है और ये NADPH को कंज्यूम्स करता है इन प्रेजेंस ऑफ सिकिमेट डिहाइड्रोजिनेज टू फॉर्म द सिक्मिक एसिड। अब सिक्मिक एसिड का फॉस्फोराइलेशंस होगा तो ये बनाता है सिक्मिक एसिड 3 फॉस्फेट इन प्रेजेंस ऑफ सिकिमेट काइनेज। अब ये सिकिमिक एसिड 3 फॉस्फेट आपका रिएक्ट करता है फॉस्फोइनॉल पायरुविक एसिड के 1 मॉलिक्यूल के साथ और ये बनाएगा कॉरिस्मिक एसिड। अब इस कॉरिस्मिक एसिड से हम ट्रिप्टोफैन, टायरोसिन और फिनाइल एलानिन बना सकते हैं जब आपका रीअरेंजमेंट होगा इसका, ठीक है। जब इसका रीअरेंजमेंट होगा, अब आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं कि रीअरेंजमेंट में क्या हो रहा है, इनकी पोजीशन चेंज हो रही है, जो इसमें ग्रुप्स जुड़े हुए हैं इनकी जो है पोजीशन चेंज हो जा रही है, ठीक है। तो ये प्री फेनिक एसिड है, इसका डिकार्बोक्सिलेशन का मतलब होता है कि जब रिमूवल ऑफ कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, दैट इज द decarboxylation process, and it will form the phenyl pyruvic acid and para hydroxyphenyl pyruvic acid. So from phenyl pyruvic acid we can obtain the phenylalanine, and from para hydroxyphenyl pyruvic acid we can obtain the tyrosine. So it is all about the language whatever I discussed in the pathway. So this all I will give in the text material, you can read this one. This is also all the points. Now next is the what is the role of cyclic acid pathway. It is the starting point in the biosynthesis of some phenolic compound like phenylalanine and tyrosine. Okay, phenylalanine and tyrosine are the major precursor which are used for the biosynthesis of phenyl propanoid. That phenyl propanoid are then used to produce the flavonoid, coumarins, tannins and lignins. In the biosynthesis of gallic acid is formed from 3-dehydrocycmate by the action of the enzyme cycmate dehydrogenate to produce the 3,5-D-dehydrocycmate. The latter compound is spontaneously rearranged to gallic acid. So we can say it is also used in the biosynthesis of the gallic acid. and it is also precursor for the indole derivative and aromatic amino acid tryptophan and tryptophan derivatives such as psychedelic compounds, dimethyltryptamines, and various alkaloids and some aromatic metabolites. So here are the some example of some isothiocyanate A glycon, isothiocyanate glycosides. Okay, from here phenylalanine is acting as a precursor for the biogenesis of the benzyl isothiocyanate. So it is the isothiocyanate is the glycoside. So in the biogenesis of the isothiocyanate glycoside phenylalanine, which is the major product of cyclic acid pathway, and it is used in the biogenesis of benzyl isothiocyanate. Next examples is biogenetic pathway for the flavonoid A glycans. Okay, the flavonoids is also a glycosides. You know that glycoside have two parts. One is A glycan and glycon. Glycon consists the sugar portion, whereas A glycon is the non-sugar portion. So it is the non-sugar portion. So cyclic acid, from cyclic acid we obtain the phenylalanine, from phenylalanine we can obtain the cinnamic acid, and from cinnamic acid it will react with the malonyl coenzymes unit or acetyl coenzyme, so it will give some intermediate, and from these intermediate we can obtain the cyanidine and quercetin as a secondary metabolites. Okay, then biosynthesis of lactone, phenols, alcohol and aldehyde glycoside. So from cyclic acid we are obtaining the phenylalanine, again cinnamic acid, from cinnamic acid we can obtain the vanillin, which is aldehyde in nature, chemically aldehyde, and from this cinnamic acid we can also obtain the halene, which is chemically alcoholic in nature. Then from cinnamic acid we can also obtain hydroquinone, and from hydroquinone we can obtain arbutin, which is phenolic in nature. Then from cinnamic acid some coumaryl glycosides we obtained, and from these glycoside we can obtain the coumarin, which are lactone in chemistry. Then these are the some examples of alkaloids which derived from the phenylalanine, tyrosine and from their derivative. For example, from phenylalanine we can obtain the ephedrine, mescaline. From tyrosine we can obtain papaverine, thebaine, codeine and morphine. Okay, these phytoconstituents are present in the morphine or opium, that is Papaver somniferum. From Papaver somniferum these compounds are present in Papaver somniferum, and we can biosynthesize these compound from the tyrosine. Then from tyrosine dihydroxyphenylalanine we can obtain, and dopamine, and from these compounds we can also obtain the amytine and colchicine. Then examples of some indole alkaloids like ragerpin is there, serpentine is there, then stretchinine there, then some ergot alkaloid, lysergic acid. So biosynthesis, so there is no need to go in detail about these compounds. I am just giving examples here because these biosynthesis are not in your syllabus, but whenever you will go in higher classes, then particular if asked about the biosynthesis of a particular compound, then you have to go in detail. But here we are giving only the example what is the role of this cyclic acid pathway. So you familiarize with this various category of the secondary metabolites which can be obtained with the help of the cyclic acid pathway. Then some cyanogenetic glycosides like lotestraline we can obtain, linamarin, durine and prunacin we can obtain. These prunacins will obtain from the phenylalanine, and from tyrosine we can obtain the durine. Then from valine we can obtain linamarins, and from isoleucine we can obtain the lotestraline. So this is all about the cyclic acid pathway. So if we can say that cyclic acid pathway is also important intermediate product. Cyclic acid is intermediate product which is used in the biosynthesis of various category of the secondary metabolite. In next lecture we will discuss about the acetate pathway. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video.